Hey guys, thanks for tuning back in Luke's Vintage RC Restoration. What we have here is a very cool find, definitely rare. Um, I will tell you a little story about this car. Years ago, probably 1994, I would say, I was just walking in the store and seeing this car. Not the green one, but the red one. Um, and I always remember this car. These cars have such a cool little backstory and history. Um, and I'll tell you about a couple of things in just a second. So what we're looking at right now is a 1992 New Bright Jaguar. I would say this was more in the line for people shopping with their kids. That was in department stores, Kmart, that kind of thing. I think this was also in some Toys R Us stores. This was also in even some drug stores. I believe pharmacy stores. Should I say drug stores? But yeah, so pretty neat car, very rare. These are numbered, as you can see on the back. These had a lot of cool little features to them. And a couple of the cool factors is this car is 2 speeds. So it uses 6 batteries, AA, and just very cool, very true scale. I want to say a little bit of the story on this car as far as the manufacturing goes, that New Bright teamed with another company. I don't know who. I'm going to reckon probably either Dickie or Radio Shack in order to make this car 100%. I could be wrong, but that's some of the little stories that's going around about these specific cars. This one was, like I said, produced in 92 up into 1996. They would also have a Mustang, they would have Corvette, and they would also have a Ford Explorer, which is quite rare. There might be another couple models, but I think that's pretty much it. Unless you know, please let me know down on the bottom. But this being really sought after, this is the one that everybody's trying to find. Without further ado, let's go ahead and look inside it. Like I was saying, it uses 6 AA batteries, like 9 volts, and one 9-volt battery for the controller. This thing is such great shape. And that's the manual. So definitely a beautiful car. Let me just pull this bad boy out. I did open it already just to see what was in it, but it hasn't been driven yet. And antenna. Look at the beauty on this thing. It's amazing New Bright can make a car that would rival Tamiya in scale realism. Look at that. That's beautiful. And it has 2 speeds, like I said, on the controller. Now, the car itself is not a 2-speed, but the controller acts as a 2-speed. So it gives you the high and then ultra high function. So, a beautiful car. And then it says right on the bottom, I don't know if you guys can see it, 1992. Now, I believe these were similar to some of the cologne cars, if you are familiar with that term. And that just means back in the day, fragrance companies would make cars in the glasses, and they would pour perfume or cologne or something in them. And that would be sold at like Belk's or something like that. Well, that would start like a long, long time ago. But years later, companies would have the RC cars, and they would sell the RC cars in some like stores like Belk's as well. I forgot to mention that to you. So Belk's would also have these kinds of cars, stuff like that, but in like specialty areas, like just dedicated to like men's cologne or something like that. Hugo Boss is something that just comes into my mind with Nico or Nico, I believe, in order to make some of those cars come to fruition. So very cool car. Somebody who would drive this back in the day would be like somebody, a rich person, I guess. You know, it was kind of funny. And they would wear one of these little hats. That's why I wore this. So, funny car, but very cool. A lot of people would kind of do 2 double takes if they seen this car on the road, actually, because you just don't see these kinds of cars anymore. So in the box you get the manual right here, 6 AA batteries, 1 9-volt, like I said. 50 feet is the operable range for this car. Now you have to be mindful. It's still a new bright RC car, so it doesn't have the proportional functions and all that stuff, but still very cool. It's 1/16 scale. Like you could display it on like your desk or on a cabinet or something like that. You know, just very cool. Definitely would hold its own in a collecting room if you have like the Tamiya cars from back in the day or something like that, or Kyosho. This would still hold its own. It still looks that good. And I know a couple of you guys are wondering, will you modify this car? I don't think I'm going to modify this car. It's probably going to stay just like it is. Gives you all the information. Very cool. So let me put this back on here. Even the tread on the tire is legit. Look at that. I mean, it has the exact type of tread. You know, wire wheels. Just the manufacturing process on this thing probably was a nightmare. But on these cars back in the day, it was probably around $29.99. Could be more than that, actually. But these weren't really, I don't think these were targeted for little kids. I think this was targeted for the parent. So you don't see many of these around. And usually they're all in pretty good shape, the ones I've seen throughout the years. So it means it kind of gives me the hint that kids really didn't get these cars very much. We're going to put some batteries in it and go for a running review. And all that's going to start right now. Alrighty guys, now for the running review. So speed on it's not very fast. It looks good though. Winds out probably about 9 miles an hour. 7 probably with the just trigger just like in his normal spot, and then an extra couple when you push the handle all the way up. And I think that's probably where I'm going to keep it. So she drove pretty good. I can't argue with that for what it is. Definitely recommend you guys, if you see one, grab them. They're kind of nice. They look really good displayed, or you know, if you want to modify it, you can. I'm not modifying this one, but if you wanted to, you probably could. And that's pretty much it. Beautiful little car. So if you like my videos, please hit a like, and I would love it for you to subscribe. Promise you're not gonna want to miss what's coming up next. Bye, you guys.